Welcome to the final episode of Inside the Dragon for 2022. In this episode, you're going to see the Stadium Drive principal for the day. She was a dandy and she was really knowledgeable. Also, you'll see our high school German students visit those students at Scripps that are also taking German to learn a little bit more about what they had to look forward to. Carpenter Elementary was honored with an engraved stone that will end up at the Orion Veterans Memorial. Also, Dragon Day. The students at Paint Creek visited Lake Orion High School to learn a little bit more about that experience. And lastly, we spent some time appreciating Mr. Jim Weidman as he retires from the school board at Lake Orion Community Schools.
When the Lake Orion Community Schools students choose a foreign language in middle school, the majority lean towards Spanish and French. But those who choose German become part of a tight-knit community, and they share a passion for the language and culture. That showed in December when the Lake Orion High School German National Honor Society students chose to visit Scripps Middle School to share the holiday of St. Nicholas.
Ja, guten Morgen. Mein Name ist Frau Kopitowicz. Ich unterrichte Deutsch bei der High School und ich habe 4 Schüler mitgebracht.
Hallo, ich bin Reagan.
Hallo, ich bin Owen.
Hallo, ich bin Maria. Und hallo, ich bin Kayla.
They're all members of German National Honor Society, which is a group that we have at the high school that you can start taking. What is our 3rd year and beyond. We just do fun projects and service projects and sort of partner up with kids who are interested in German Club, and we thought we'd come hang out with you guys today because holiday time in Germany is pretty awesome. I understood from First Hour that you guys have been talking about it a little bit, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ja.
So we're here today to talk about the 6th of December. Can anyone enlighten me on what happens on the 6th of December?
It's St. Nicholas Day.
Yeah, Nicholas Tag. How many people have heard that before just the past couple of days? Just wondering.
The visit included an explanation of the holiday.
But it's celebrated on December 6th because that's the day dedicated to him.
There were also a few videos explaining the day and its primary mascot, Nicholas, in the red and white robe, along with the scary sidekick, Krampus, which apparently is the intent to scare the children.
You know, all over the place there's different versions. Originally he was just a guy that had like robes and was sort of like disheveled and creepy looking. But it's evolved, and in southern Germany and in Austria, the figure who accompanies him is called Krampus. And there's lots of different versions of Krampus. But he's this very demonic, scary being, and he's there to scare those kids who are worried about being on the naughty or nice list.
Bro, that would be the best job. To dress up as some demonic figure. We're in the back, kid. We're in the back.
So, diese Frage wollen wir schauen.
So kann es nicht sein. Von erwachsenen Sohn, Klappe zu, nicht zu. Okay?
You've been good.
Jetzt kriegst du aber trotzdem ein paar.
The middle school and high school students worked together to make small shoes to fill with treats for the holiday. Teachers Jennifer Jones from Scripps and Holly Kokatovich from LOHS came together to create the connection.
Yeah, so I started here at Scripps last year, and this is my first year teaching German here. And this collaboration was developed by Frau Kokatovich, and you can speak more to that.
Yeah, well, our German National Honor Society kids, one of their big things this year is that they wanted to come here and foster a relationship with the students here and grow the programs so that the kids knew what there was to offer at the high school, how much fun it would be, and just give them that confidence and that connection to continue on. So we sat down. Holidays in Germany are great thing to talk about and do projects for. So
They were very excited about it, and it forms a nice collaboration, and it's good for them because they get to meet the teacher who they may have in the high school, and they can move further up in the program.
yeah, for sure. And it's just us. This is the only middle school that has German. So, I mean, we get what we get. So we want to make it the best experience possible.
This class should be fun, and it is fun, and we try to create activities that make it engaging, and also teach the language that kids can use in an outside world context as well.
Well, and we've got the only language that has run AP at the high school is German. So we really want to get that bug in the kids' ears and let them know about it so they can, put that on their radar if that's a goal.
When elementary schools hold their fun runs in the fall, there are an array of prizes available for the students. One of the most popular incentives is often the chance to be principal for the day. At Stadium Drive Elementary this year, Nagano was the top fundraiser and was able to spend a day with Stadium Principal Gretchen Hines. At school, that meant greeting students outside as they arrived, making the morning announcements from a classroom, and visiting the LOCS Administration Building to meet with Superintendent Ben Kirby and the assistant superintendents.
All of the district buildings, like your great school is one of the buildings that that we're all responsible for. This group right here is responsible for every school in the district, and so between the four of us, we work to try to make sure that every school gets all the support they need, whether it's the students, teachers, or principals. In December, we're going to have any snow days. There's no threatening weather for the rest of the month, so plan on coming to school. I know you don't want to miss school anyways because you're the principal.
Do you decide what time we do stuff?
Not necessarily what time you do stuff. So your teachers work to plan when during the day, like you're gonna study math or reading. So they have some control over that, the time of day. But what you're learning, that we help out with here. So I work with your principals, with your teachers. And we decide all of those things. And then there are some requirements that the state puts on us as well.
One of her favorite parts of the administration building visit was the visit to the boardroom, where she learned about the board's role and how a meeting runs.
There is. Sometimes they have big meetings in here. It's called the board office. And all of the board members sit up here and talk about how to make sure Lake Orion Schools is the best.
And sometimes while they're waiting to talk,
Yeah, sometimes while they're waiting to talk, they eat. Do you know what that is? It's called a gavel. It's how they call the meeting to order. So and then they hit it. Yep, and then the meeting starts or the meeting ends.
And she worked on writing up her script for morning announcements. And she practiced that, and then she went around and visited every single classroom and introduced herself. What else did we do? We went and checked on the gym to see how things were going in the gym. Did some work in my office. You sat down at the computer and brainstormed your questions for Mr. Kirby and his team. You had to do some deliveries to classrooms. I think Ms. Abby had you do some stuff. Yep.
It was fun making deliveries. What did you deliver?
I delivered these bags with treats and I don't know.
To teachers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then somebody was missing something and we had to go find it. Do you remember what it was? Oh, when the custodian came in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the custodian come in and talk to us, and we had to go on a little hunt for something that was missing.
What did all your friends think about you being the principal today?
I don't know.
Were they surprised? They didn't think that you're because you're a kid just most days, right?
Yeah. So we stood out this side this morning, and usually I stand outside out of the side of the main entrance where everybody comes in. All the bus kids and drop-off kids all come in the main entrance, and we say good morning. And I let everybody know that you were principal for the day. And some of the kids were super surprised, right? Their eyes got really big, and they were like, "What?" And they asked if they could be principal for the day.
It's a special day for you, just alone, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So this is probably something you're going to remember for a while, do you think? For sure.
The Orion Veterans Memorial is a strong presence in the Orion community and appreciates when any group contributes and supports our veterans. In December, members of the Veterans Memorial visited Carpenter Elementary to thank the students for raising money in the fall.
Our theme days for a cause would raise money for the Orion Veterans Memorial right here in our community. And we did a great job of coming together and raising some money. So our guest speakers are from the Veterans Memorial today, and some other places, to thank us for what we did and to tell us a little bit more about the Veterans Memorial. So can we give them a round of applause?
The board of the Orion Veterans Memorial. Hats off to all of you for the dedication that you showed in raising money. The contribution that you made on behalf of our veterans will be remembered for a long, long time. If the weather were warmer, we'd have invited you all to come over to the memorial, but that's not possible with weather like this. But what we have done is presented a brick. There is a walkway on the outer part of the memorial next to O'Donnell Road. And there is a brick. Mr. Smith, would you please go to the brick and just raise it up, please?
Part is already done.
Well,
It's still a Smith. I want to know that.
ask Bob Smith, as a Navy veteran in uniform of sorts, and as vice chair.
The students who led the fundraising campaign came to the front of the assembly and were presented with American flags.
By the Vice President of the Orion Veterans Memorial, Bob Smith, and handing out a thank you flag to each member of your leadership team. Are remembered by having a brick on the pathway to peace inside the memorial. On behalf of all of them and of the board, we want to again say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Especially on Veterans Day. So let's thank them, boys and girls.
Each year, the Lake Orion High School leadership class welcomes one elementary school to LOHS for a day to learn about the high school and to work on teamwork and strong values in leadership.
And these are my leadership students, and they're in 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. So there, I know, wow, it's crazy, isn't it? I know. And guess what? Some of them went to Paint Creek. If you went to Paint Creek from the leadership class, raise your hand. Yeah.
The leadership students explained the importance of the letters in dragons to reflect the important values.
It's really important as to be a dragon is to don't worry. It may seem important at that time or that moment that you're really nervous or you're really scared about what's going to happen in the future. But ultimately, there's nothing you can do until it arrives. There's nothing you can do to change what's going to happen in the future. But now I'm going to pass the mic to Savannah to talk about what R means.
Hi guys, so R stands for respect. And I think respect is very important going for anybody, not only just people in your classes, but to your teachers and other peers in your community as well. To be respected, you also have to respect others. So that's something to learn. You have to lead by example so then people will learn that you deserve to be respected.
Yeah, so teachers, raise your hands. So these three people are amazing people and they will always be here for you no matter what. So always be kind to them because they're a big role model in your life and they will always be kind to you and help you out with anything that you need.
Hello everyone, I am Reagan and I'm going to talk about what G means. So here, G stands for Go Green.
And Go Green can mean a lot of different things, but mostly it just means that we're all together. So we are all dragons.
And I have O, and that stands for opportunities. So when you're going into middle school next year, there will be a lot more opportunities to try new things you love, whether it's music, art, sports. I say take on those opportunities as a chance to get better and improve yourself every opportunity.
Which is new friends. So how many of you have that new friend this year? Yeah. How many of you hope to be a new friend with your buddy, one of the leadership students? Yeah. So the cool thing about coming up in your future, and I'm going to talk a lot about your future, is in middle schools, you're going to have 6 elementary schools. If you guys are on page 3, 6 elementary schools are going to be condensed into 3 middle schools. So you guys are going to be open to meet these new friends.
So not only to strength, I mean like muscles, but like mentality, having strength in your mind, knowing that you can take on challenges and knowing you're capable of completing your work or going to try it for out like your new sport or something. Make sure that you have strength, like be confident in yourself.
The Paint Creek students went to their stations to interact with the high school students, learning about each other, playing games, and growing through their interactions. Lake Orion Community Schools said goodbye to Board of Education President Jim Weidman, who served the district for 22 years in a series of roles. At his final board meeting on December 14th, the administration and the other board members praised and thanked him for his service.
I've studied you for years. I actually learned some leadership concepts from you. I mean, you are a business owner, a basketball referee, a school board member. All of these high stress, high responsibility jobs with people yelling at you quite a bit and giving you feedback, lots of feedback.
That's a good way to say it.
So it taught me though you're either very resilient or a glutton for punishment, maybe a little bit of both. But it does take a certain kind of person to be able to handle all that.
And for your service to the district over the years, and very sincerely, it's been an honor. Thank you.
I too would like to thank you and share my appreciation for the time we've been able to have together and go out knowing that you are a highly respected individual.
Jim, thank you for all your years of service. You have left a great impact on the district, and you are appreciated, and thank you very much. It will be felt for years to come.
Thank you to your family for sharing you, because it's been many hours, months, probably years that they've actually missed you because you were here. And I too really appreciate your calmness. We've talked privately about the impact that you've had on me as a leader, and I appreciate, you're my first board president, and the effect you've been an open communicator, listener, really business-minded, and ultimately a student advocate for all of our dragons is really admirable. So to share this with you, so this encapsulates your career in this shadow box. So Jim Weidman, trustee, that's how it all began 22 years ago, and then you've been the treasurer, the president a couple of times, but we didn't have enough to put that in there twice. So you can just share that with the grandkids that you were twice. And then obviously we have the academic letter with your shot there, and then certainly the Lamp of Learning medals that were distributed in the many years that you served the district. And
I would like to thank you as well, Jim. My short tenure here, you've been my only president, so those are some big shoes to fill. And you will be greatly missed. I really appreciate your guidance, your leadership, helping orient me these first few years.
The way that you've allowed us to lead and allowed us to learn and showed us your experiences without an iron fist, but more, hey, don't you think this might be better, Scott? I can remember when I was president and I called on Jim a couple times just to ask him advice, because there was some tough stuff going on at that time, and I just really appreciate your leadership and your friendship and just the man you are.
Better be president. I really, appreciate you always taking the time to take my phone calls and, hear me out and talk things out with me. And, like everyone said, just, you have a certain style of leadership that's been awesome for not only my 2 years here, but for the past 22 years.
In that era, when you first came on, it was a different time. It was a growth era. We were opening buildings, Oakview, Paint Creek, these things were coming online. But the thing that struck me the most about your time was that you through the Great Recession and the tough challenges, and that always keeping it on a student focus. And there's a lot of families in this town that were impacted by the fact that you always kept the focus on the students and what was best, and also for the staff to make sure that the people that are there working with our kids every day.
For some, that's a lifetime. For the Lake Orion Community Schools Board of Education, it's the end of an era. For you, Jim Weidman, it's nearly a third of your life dedicated to serving your community as a trustee. 3,200 hours of meetings is merely a drop in the bucket when looking at the overall commitment you have made to our awesome school district. They say that what you do has a far greater impact than what you say. Your 22 years of dedicated board service has made an impact that can never be fully put into words. Lake Orion is a better school district because you've served on this board. To quote Albert Pine, "What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others in the world remains and is immortal." Jim Weidman, you will forever be a part of the school district, and your service over these past 22 years is appreciated far more than we can possibly express. Remember, once a dragon, always a dragon. Thank you, and well done.
I started this journey when the new high school was new. Remember those days where we talked about the new high school? And I'd like to just take time to thank the community for their trust in me to serve on this board for the last 22 years. It's been a privilege to contribute in a small way to the success of our schools. Recognizing people is a challenge because inevitably you can never be sure to include everyone you should when there have been so many great people over many years who have made a difference for kids and their families. That being said, I'd like to name a couple of people who helped me grow in my role as school board member. Keith Miller was a leader of the board many years ago during a very difficult period for our schools. Keith led with a steady hand to lead the schools into a new era of renewal that set the stage for our success over many years to come. I appreciated Keith as a mentor to me as a new school board member. Marion Janopoulos came to Lake Orion as an interim superintendent and ended up leading our district for 9 years. I learned much from her leadership style through those years. Lake Orion Community Schools has been blessed with outstanding staff in every role in school operations. I would like to thank the many board members I served with over the years that I had an opportunity to learn from. And finally, I'd like to thank the people at this table, all of you. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with all of you as our team of 8 and the administrators who always make this group of board members look great. More importantly, and most importantly, I'd like to thank a thank you to my family for supporting me through all of this time spent away from home, dinner, meetings, things like that. All the events, the numerous commitments of board service. I appreciate all their support over these many years. I had a coach who had this on the wall when I was in school, and I'd like to begin by welcoming Heather as part of the new team of 8. And I'd like to share this with you. The indispensable man. Sometimes when you're feeling important, sometimes when your ego's in bloom, sometimes when you take it for granted you're the best qualified in the room, sometime when you feel that your going will leave an unfillable hole, just follow these simple instructions and see how they humble your soul. Take a bucket and fill it with water. Put your hand in it up to the wrist. Pull it out, and the hole that's remaining is a measure of how much you'll be missed. You can splash all you wish when you enter. You may stir up the water galore, but stop, and you'll find that in no time, it looks quite the same as before. The moral of this quaint example is to do just the best that you can. Be proud of yourself, but remember, there's no indispensable woman or man. The challenge for you is to keep stirring that water up, and I'm counting on this new team of 8 to do a great job and make some magic happen in Lake Orion. So thank you all, and great times are ahead. And with that, for the final time, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Go Dragons!
Inside the Dragons is produced by the Lake Orion Community Schools in partnership with Orion Neighborhood Television. For up-to-date news and information about the Lake Orion Schools, visit our website at lakeorionschools.org and watch us on Comcast Educational Access Channel 22 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99.